So Alabama just landed a commitment from a Southern Mississippi JUCO. How we feel about that? Well, let's tighten up. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Tight on the Tide. I'm your host, Wayne Mason. So Alabama just landed Tyler Henderson out of Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Now, some people are saying, well, what are we doing? This is a junior college. Why are we not going after more substantial, I guess, what would you say, more well seasoned players if we're going after anybody to add to our wide receiver core? That's a really good question. But I will say, having taken a look at this guy's what film there is now, there's not a ton of film out there on him. I mean, there's a bit, um, but what I'm seeing looks pretty good, honestly. The guy is showing immense potential. Uh, Stats overall is now there's different sites have him listed a little bit differently, but they're all in the same range of 6 foot to 6'1", 180 pounds. There again, that depends on the source that you're looking at. Now, he's self-reporting that he runs a 4.340, which is pretty blazing. I mean, I don't if you recall when we were talking about Aubrey Walker coming that we're looking at. A 4.340, even if it's a 4.4, I mean that's pretty blazing, especially in the wide receiver category. Um, Now I'm getting mixed. I'm getting mixed bags as far as what his stats are for catches and touchdowns. I have seen one, as far as last season, I've seen one outlet report that he had 16 catches, another outlet report that he had 33 catches, and another outlet report that he had 67 catches. But the totals were all same, and they came in at just under 1,300 yards overall. But all of them do state that he had 12 touchdowns, which led the JUCO ranks, and he averages roughly 19.4 yards per catch. Now, that right there, that one stat alone says a ton. If you've got a guy that if we're in the category of looking at that kind of yardage after the catch, that is saying that this is a young man that has a lot of potential for down the field progress as far as getting deep, getting the ball deep. If you're talking about a receiver that's coming in anywhere in the realm of, um, let's just say 10 yards after the catch. You're kind of talking more about a mid range guy. You're looking at the middle, getting mid yardage. But when you're coming in at roughly 20 yards per catch, I mean, that's saying that guy's getting down the field. And you put that uh, on top of what he's reporting for his speed, that's going to be an incredible weapon. Now, he is in his sophomore season, so he's coming in with experience, even though it is in the realm of junior college, it is some collegiate experience, and that is going to help a lot because a lot of these guys that we've got coming in that we're looking at with the Aubrey Walker, and then later on with, oh, I'm having a brain cramp at the moment. I'm sorry, but and then putting him in with with Williams and Brooks and Scott, the guys who are already seasoned. uh, I think that what we're talking about is someone who could come into the program who has a little bit of the wherewithal to know what goes on in the collegiate realm and can get in with the mix And, when you take a look at his films that he has, what you're able to see anyway, his route running looks really good. It's very clean. He's obviously well practiced and versed in what he's doing, able to get down the field. Now, unfortunately, I there's not really any footage of him where he's not receiving the ball, so you can't really tell what he's doing when he's not getting the ball. Now, I would assume, as with any really a player who's worth their salt, that he's at least throwing a block, especially if the ball is going to be coming in his vicinity, that he's putting on blocks. Um, but what I'm seeing looks really good, that he tracks well down the field, and he's also, when what you see in his films is that he's a hands catcher, which is really good. He's not body catching the thing. He's catching the ball with his hands. Um, there were several schools that took a look at him. They were more in the realm. I mean, we had Kennesaw State, Washington State, who is a D1, and Western Kentucky, East Carolina, MTSU, and Appalachian State. Now, it was rumored that Florida early on this year was taking a look at him just to kind of see what they maybe thought about him and if he might be something to bring to their program. But obviously that didn't work out, and he is since coming to Alabama as of right now. Um, so I think it's exciting, especially if we can take a look at really getting our run game going and developing into a multi-dimensional, you know, like we've been over and over and over, with the run game last season. Hopefully that they're able to bring within the run game this season, this next season, the 26th season, that they can strengthen that run game and make it into something that. And I tell you, with Crowell coming in, um, I don't know that he's going to be waiting very long before he's on the field. But even though, I mean, with the likes of, the other backs that we have that are able to come in, um, then that will create opportunities for getting the ball down the field deep. And I think that that's something that Tyler Henderson is going to really be able to help out a lot with. Um, Now, especially last season, we saw a little bit. I mean, we saw Ty Simpson with, I mean, he had a great arm. We didn't really see him fire off down the field that much. Coming in with and Keelan Russell and Austin Mack, um, these two guys and the arms that they have, um, first off, they're cannons, and the accuracy is there. So if we have some guys in that wide receiver core that can get down the field, get open, um, and that we can also have as bringing him in as a number two, number three option. Um, you know, if Ryan is covered, if Scott, then we have the option to get to somebody else that can really do a lot of damage. And I think that from what I have seen in Mr. Henderson's videos, it looks like that is going to definitely be the case. Um, it's pretty exciting, honestly. There's a lot going on this postseason, or post the off season, that is really getting me excited. And then there's a lot of people that are, yelling, well, why are we going? Have we really gotten to the bottom of the barrel that we're having to go to junior colleges to get, players? Well, I dare say, a lot of these guys, I think if you really take a look at what they're doing, I mean, yes, they are not competing with D1 type players. D1 players, especially when you're talking the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, it's a different world. Yes, it is. But I think that you can see there are coaches that are able to see potential in players. Obviously, Coach DeBoer sees something in this guy that made him say, yes, pull him out. I want him. Let's get him and see what can happen. It's exciting. We'll see. We'll see what happens going into spring practice coming up here in a handful of days. It is very exciting. So um, I want to thank you all for watching. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like and subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. Hope that you all have a very wonderful rest of your day and or night, wherever you may be when you're watching this. Thank you, and roll tide.